This is Isaiah 10 and 1. It says, "Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and that write grievousness which they have prescribed." I like to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh Shem Shai. Double honors to the apostle elders, a great millstone who rule well. And salutations to all you brothers out there pushing this word in love, truth, sincerity, and humility. Once again, it's the brother Shai from the Chicago camp, coming back to you with what I hope is another quick and edifying sit down. All right, and we have another unrighteous decree written up by the nation of evil. And this information comes from my neck of the woods here in Illinois by our governor, Mr. Pritzker. So let's let this video on TikTok give the breakdown.
And among the new laws, one allowing non-citizens to become police officers in Illinois.
Political reporter Scott Schneider live in studio with details on this. Scott.
Anthony Nelly, this law requires that immigrants be legally authorized to work under federal law. The bill's sponsor called it a natural progression now that some undocumented immigrants can become healthcare workers and military members. However, it's been highly criticized by Republicans and the Illinois Fraternal Order of Police. The FOP issued a statement earlier this month ahead of Friday's bill signing. It reads in part, "What message does this legislation send when it allows people who do not have legal status to become the officers of our laws? This is a potential crisis of confidence in law enforcement at a time when our officers need all the public confidence they can get." The organization continued by writing that it does support potential police recruits once their citizenship status is solidified. Now, the new law takes effect January 1st. Next hour, we're going to hear from the bill's main sponsor, Barbara Hernandez of Aurora.
All right, thank you, Scott. Governor
Immigrants are going to be able to be police officers. Now, I just heard about this yesterday. Now, this didn't get a lot of airplay at all, because I was very shocked when I heard this. But I was at the gig and I was talking to my partner, and I'm just like, so let me get this straight. Non-citizens are going to be able to enforce a law on naturalized citizens. Not only that, you have all types of characters that are coming across the border from Central America and South America. And let's just say they weren't law-abiding citizens there. So you're going to allow these people to come into the police department and enforce the laws of America when they're not even, by Esau's law, citizens of the United States. This is a recipe for disaster. I mean, the police is already bad. Their numbers are dwindling. All right, they're an entity that has a long history of rape, robbery, murder, bribery, extortion, you name it. All right, that whole department falls under a RICO Act. But nonetheless, if you got this type of madness happening right now with the police department, imagine what's going to happen when you allow non-immigrants to join the police force. Now, in these smaller neighborhoods, they're not going to do that. They're going to try their best to circumvent this. So you can pretty much put together that this law, for the most part, is only going to affect people from Chicago. I won't say only, but Chicago will be the most affected by this unrighteous decree, because you're going to have people that are just like, no, I'm not going to submit to any of your authority. You are not a citizen here. And we all know this is meant to cause chaos and more division, because you got people in this country who are citizens and they can't even get a job. But somebody comes from across the border and you got this incentive where, yeah, you could just be a police officer. You could start making within 5 years 70% of your max income, which might be I think for police officers, their max is around either the high 90s or very low 100s. So an immigrant is going to be making almost six figures within 5 years, while you got folks in America struggling. Let me read that again. Isaiah 10:1. It says, "Woe to them that decree unrighteous decrees and write grievousness which they have prescribed." And this is a very grievous and well thought out device, because you have to recognize, man, this devil, bad Uncle Esau, all right, he is the ultimate master of disaster. All right, he does nothing by mistake. Nothing. It's all part of his plan. So these guys come up, they get a phone, they get a credit card, got a place to stay, and then you got this. And see, that's why it says in Psalm, what's that, 10:5? It says his ways are always grievous. Let's get that word grievous. Psalms 10. Oh. Halal.
Strong's H2342. Chul. Chul. And the form just below that, Chil. Chil.
It says to twist, whirl, dance, wreath, fear, tremble, travail, be in anguish, be pained. Suffering, torture, to be distressed. So it says that basically his ways are always grievous. They're always suffering. They're always torturous. All right? You're always in pain. And that's what you have in this guy's system. Every law that he creates, every bill that he puts into action, it's always something that causes extreme anguish upon the common people. Because all this is going to do is cause further tension and division amongst the people here in the United States. Because now you're going to have the natural immigrants beefing against the non-natural immigrants. So you're going to have U.S. citizens beefing against this. I mean, it's going to literally be a very chaotic scene. This is something that's going to lead or should I say further the prophecy of 2nd Ezra 15 and 16, where it says, "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power." There's going to be a violent uprising that's going to come up out of this situation, especially these diehard patriot Edomites. They already can't stand Jake. So you talking about there's going to be thousands of Jakes who are not citizens enforcing the law of the land of America? Then them Edomites ain't going for that. You see how these Edomites talk to, you see how these Edomites talk to these cops that are citizens, and these Edomites are citizens. Talking about, fuck you, you know who my dad is, you know who my uncle is. Imagine that conversation with a non-immigrant. Man, it's going to get ugly out here. And they're going to be like, I don't care if you're a cop. Like it says here, it says they shall not regard their kings nor princes, meaning people of power, people in positions of authority, and police officer, though it's low level, the police have been given much leniency in what they can do as far as Edom might say, maintaining the status quo. So this should be very interesting to see how this is going to turn out in the very near future. So just keep your eyes open. So that's all I want to say on this. Hope you all were edified. Till the next time, we're going to say shalom.